So this is for Gretchen. She asked me to do this. I suck at getting videotaped or doing any kind of stuff, and I look like a mess with 2 kids. Okay, so homeschooling. Where do we start? The first thing you got to do is decide if you want to homeschool. And currently, I don't think that's like a choice. We just have to do it. So if you're here, you have to send the state board, like you're Escambia County, where I stay. I had to send them a letter of intent to homeschool. Now, homeschooling has kind of like 3 things. You have homeschooling that is like you go all out, and then you have to send that intent of letter to the county saying that you're going to homeschool your child, and you do the grades, you keep up with all the stuff, and everything like grades and attendance, you have to keep up. That's all on you. That's a total complete homeschool. Then there's one where you go in with a private program. And what that is you're under an academy and they do all the stuff for you, and you're not technically considered a homeschool student, you're considered a private school student. So with this, you don't have to tell the state anything, and everything is taken care of, and you're safe. They do cost a lot. There's cheaper programs, there's more expensive programs. Also, I'll go through with all the pros and cons of each stuff. Then there's like programs where you just go in and you just buy their entire programs, and you'll still be a homeschooler. So you'll get the intent, you're still homeschooling, but you'll buy a program from someone. So all these options are there. That's the first thing. So I'll go over the pros and cons in the next video. Okay, so this video is going to be about each of the homeschool types, like the homeschool, the private academy, and just the curriculum full on. So I'll tell you all the good stuff and the bad stuff. Homeschooling, all on your own, where you pick the curriculum. The pros first I'll tell you is you get to have a completely tailored program for your child where you pick what their strong points are, what their weak points are, and it's really great. That way you can, tailor everything because you know your child more than anybody else. So you know what you need to do for them. The second thing that's good about that is you don't really have to keep grades, and you don't have to worry about them being in a certain grade. It's just that they're academically reaching that level that you want them to. So you can always research like state board, what they're teaching in their curriculum, and make sure you teach them that. But then you also have a leeway. And the other good thing is you are not set with homework, and, you could teach them what you want them to do. Like, you want them to know how to write. You want them to know how to do vocabulary. So you can get books that, you tailor to just vocabulary, and then you can get writing books, or you can give them writing assignments. And there's a lot of free stuff online. Like the Exploratorium has videos. PBS has videos and games they can do. And you can have them write journals. So this way you're building their writing, their reading, and then you add in all these literature books. Like, you can add Mark Twain, you can add Dickens, you can do whatever you like. So that's the good part about this program, I feel. And I think it's a really great program for most moms who have kids who are different in each subject. The cons of this is that you do have to keep the grades, and you have to keep the portfolio, and then you have to get it evaluated at the end of the day, at least in the States you do. And you get them like whatever, standardized testing, whatever you want them to do in case you're putting them back in school, like all that. And then you have to write the letter of intent to the state. And one of the things about this is you can either do it just yourself, or you can have an umbrella school. What an umbrella school is just, there's a free one in my state. You're under them, you just send them your attendance, and I guess it protects you from child protective services and stuff, and all those kind of things. So people do say that. So since this is my first year homeschooling, really like this grade level, I did join an oh my God, umbrella school. Sorry. There is the unschooling method, like a lot of parents do, where it's very chilled out, laid back. There's a student-led program where the kids choose what they like and the parents take them in that direction. So that's, again, a lot of parent work is there and all that stuff. Like, you need to be there. And if you don't want to put in that time and effort and you don't have the time and you're working and stuff, you can't do these kind of programs, because you need to have a structure, standard, and everything. So then when we talk about homeschool, there is something called homeschool styles. So the traditional method is the one where you have tests and it's just like your public school system, kind of like cores and stuff like that. Some of the examples of the traditional curriculums are ABECA, ACE, Life Pack, Horizons, BJU, things like that, those kind of curriculums. There is a classical program, which is like, it gives you a little bit of thinking plus a lot of the traditional stuff. So it's basically traditional with a little bit of creative thinking happening. Then there's something called Charlotte Mason, and they're just all about, I didn't really research into this because it's just a broad curriculum and it's a lot of hands-on stuff and a lot of stuff that you have to do as a parent. And I don't have the time for that right now. So I didn't look into the Charlotte Mason type of thing, but it's really good because it teaches kids how to like think for themselves and go out of the box. Then there's a unit system. Unit system is where they have a central theme and all their subjects will work on the same theme that day. Like say they're talking about mountains. So you'll have math with mountains, and you'll have history with mountains, and you'll have science with mountains. It's around a central theme, and they'll have books and quite a bit of hands-on projects in that. Then there's like all kinds of eclectic methods, and there's nature methods and everything. Oak Meadows program, I like Oak Meadows program. It's a very highly rated program, but it's a lot of hands-on stuff. So right now for me, I cannot do hands-on. And you have to think about your kid. What kind of a kid is he? Is he the kind that wants to read and do a workbook and stuff? Or does he want to actually get out there and do experiments and be all hands-on and learn through hands-on? But this requires a lot of parent. They're not going to go do it on themselves. You have to be there. So you have to be a mom who is willing to do all this stuff with their kids and find that. So if you're looking for something like that, Oak Meadows, I definitely recommend Oak Meadow curriculum. Then you have academies where you just buy their whole preset, like a 6th grade curriculum. And some of them have videos. Some of them even offer you grade support, and they monitor grades. And some of them have online programs where everything is just taken care for you. You just pick a program. An example of that kind of a program is, say, ABECA. ABECA has it, ABECA Academy. It's video lectures that were recorded at Lorraine School, actually. So you have your video lectures. There'll be kids in the class, and the teacher's just talking just like the way she would lecture a class. You just watch the video, and you go through and then do all the lessons, and all the lesson plans are laid out, both with the private academies and any kind of a curriculum that you choose that's like full set. You'll have lesson plans, which is great because then you don't have to do much of a planning. And some of these lesson plans are just like go. I mean, I did ABECA last year because of COVID. They put us into ABECA, and it was just Varane would wake up. He would go on his computer all by himself. He would watch his video, finish his lessons, ask me for the test, and the teachers mailed the test to me, and you have all that. So these, and then that's it. They complete all that. So it's pretty like self-paced, and they do it on their own. A lot of them have just textbooks, and some of them have online quizzes. Some of them have videos that they watch, and you know, whichever works with you. So you can buy just the online programs. You can buy video demand programs. You can buy just the textbook programs where it's like a textbook and a workbook style. And ABECA does that. LifePack does that. There's a lot of programs. Programs are like a billion out there. Now, another con about the homeschooling program that I saw is you have to come up with the lesson plans. So they're not set. So that's one. Okay, so that's basically what it is. And then the private academies, they have like from $1,000 to like $24,000, things like that. But what the private school is, they take care of it. So you're basically in like an online program, like how you would for college, online classes, and some have live teachers, so they have like a time that you have to be in. On the live lecture on the computer, and the teacher checks in with you, and you submit homework. A lot of coursework and homework in this. So if you're someone who wants the child not to have so much coursework but still learn, this is like hardcore, like preparing them, which I think is great, because you do have to realize that, a lot of moms say, I don't want them taking placement tests. I don't want them to do like homeworks and, going to the public school system. But you don't understand. See, like if I'm a doctor, so you have to learn how to read like textbooks on your own, like a lot. You have to be able to take standardized tests like USMLE. If you're going to be a bad test taker if you're not used to taking tests. So kids need to be taking tests. That said, if you do the homeschool program, you can buy tests online, you can buy textbooks online that have tests on them, so you can still get them to practice. So in both the mechanisms, you just have to make sure you add on the stuff that you want. You have to understand that what do you want from them. Me personally, I want to be able to have them be a good test taker, be able to read and study on their own big books, do vocabulary, do really good on the SATs, and get into a really good college. So then you have to tailor the programs, and the academies do that. There are some academies that are like hands-on and they don't have all that. There's all kinds of academies, so you have to research into the academy that you want. But a lot of the academies have rigorous educational programs, and some are tailored for students who have like special needs in certain subjects, or just special needs kids. There's like autistic programs. There's so many things, So in an academy, you don't have to worry about grading. You don't have to worry about everything. Everything is laid out. But that doesn't mean that you don't have work to do. I feel like you do have a lot of work to do because you got to keep up with their timing. So if you're looking for a laid back, like you're not worried about timing, they do have something called self-paced online, where they have a teacher who checks in on them, and then if they don't complete their work, they give you a call or whatever like that. But they watch online videos, and it's online, like they can do it on their time. They don't have to specifically attend the live lecture. They can just watch the lecture after it's been done. So that private school system, it's like that. It's just like a basic school. You can do self-paced, or you can do completely live online classes. Anything, whichever one you work with. And if you are in a public school system, there's free public school virtual schools now. So you'll basically have the public school curriculum, and you will have public school teachers who check in on you and everything, and they keep up with you. That said, I heard that it again has a lot of work, and there's a lot of projects and this and that, and you might not have the greatest teachers. All that is there. So that is with the private academies. So one thing is, up until you're up to 9th, you don't have to really worry about everything. But when you're in 9th grade, you got to start worrying about accreditation, and you have to worry about making them ready for those standardized tests and getting a diploma, if that's the way you want to go. So at that point, you would start looking at accredited programs. But if you do put them in a private school, you cannot do dual enrollment. If they're in 9th grade, they can't go to the college and do dual enrollment if they're in a private institute. So you have to be in homeschooling curriculum, and they can do dual enrollment. So that's one of the things I found out. And you just research your things. One of the main things that I did is I was thinking, okay, so I do want to do a traditional classical method, and I want to do a program. But then I realized when I got into it that the programs have their weaknesses, they have their strong points, and then they have like subjects where they're weak. So I started researching all that information, and it got really crazy at that point. So then what I did was I went into the public school education standards. They have websites like, California Education, and like Escambia County Department of Education and stuff. So they have curriculums, what they teach in 6th grade. So what I did was I said, okay, so my kid has to learn all this stuff. Like, so he's doing 6th grade. He needs to be able to do life science. He needs to be able to do sixth grade grammar. So they want this, they're doing world history, and in math they're doing fractions, whatever, according to their grade. So I wrote all that down, and then I started looking at the programs. Then I realized that, okay, Varane is strong in math. So he actually, I took some placement tests for him, and he scored pretty high, and he was ready to go into pre-algebra. So I took the pre-algebra program. Pre-algebra, Beast Academy is really good. So I went in for Beast Academy, and for younger kids, it's called Beast Academy. And once they get into pre-algebra, it's called Art of Problem Solving. So for math, I am choosing that. But what I did for him initially now is I put him into the Monarch program, which is $39.95 per month. It's an online program, and you have all your basic subjects, Bible, and math, history, science, language arts, all your cores basically. So I just picked all those classes. You don't have to pick all of them. You could put one, you can put two. I just picked all of them right now just because they have the grading system and they have online quizzes. So he can always take the quizzes without doing the lessons, and you can choose how much each grade is worth. You can make him redo a test because you have your portal. They give you a teacher portal where you get to choose everything. If you want them not do an assignment, you can just delete that assignment, or you can add in some stuff. You can put in projects that you choose, stuff like that. So I just basically what I did was I got the Monarch and I put him into it. Monarch has a 30-day trial, so we're trying that out right now. So as we try Monarch, what I'm doing is I'm incorporating stuff that he needs to be really strong in, especially for the SATs. So the SATs are going to cover reading, vocabulary, comprehension is super high, and then math. So I'm getting him a reading comprehension book. I'm going to get the Abeka reading comprehension book for his grade because he's done it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty hard actually. So I'm gonna do the reading. Vocabulary, I'm doing something called Wisely Words. So they have that for kids, younger kids too. So it just goes with the grade level. You'd go with the grade level and age level that your kid's at. Well, not even grade level, like how much your kid knows, or how much is he like you want him to start off with, things like that. So your child, like you want to build them up. You don't want to just overstress them out. So keeping an SATs in mind, so I know that I want to make sure that his reading is stuff. So I'm going to supplement him with the reading stuff. I'm going to supplement him with the comprehension and vocabulary stuff. The other thing I want to slowly add in is Latin. Latin is really important because that's where language comes from, and it's going to be really useful for him in college for writing assignments and stuff. I'm eventually going to start giving him writing supplements. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do right now, but I thought I'll just start him like a fun project where he does like journaling, basically, for me, that, we can communicate together, and he can go day to day how he's feeling and how, homeschooling is doing and things like that, like journaling, which helps him write because he can't get out of the habit of penmanship too, because his Abeka teaches you penmanship, which is cursive writing. And so he's been doing that from first grade to fifth grade. So I'm going to continue having him do assignments like that. So I'm going to supplement him with reading, vocabulary, comprehension, and writing. So your basic language arts covers your reading comprehension, vocabulary, and all that. But just because it's middle school now, I'm going to start supplementing a little bit more stuff. Like I'm going to have my own reading list that I'm going to start him on. I picked out some reading lists for sixth graders, and there was like Dickens and Mark Twain and some other fun books and stuff. Little Women, things like that. And I would just buy those library books. You can't even go to the library nowadays. So I'm just, there's like a thriftbook.com. You could just get used books and stuff. It's really cheap, like $3 for a book and stuff like that. So I'm going to get him that. He's pretty good in spelling and stuff. So I wasn't really worried about that. He's really good in that. Another thing that is really good about homeschooling is you can add electives. Say like I'm doing keyboarding with Florida Virtual School. It's free keyboarding class. So I'm adding that in for him. And with Abeka, he did health. But I looked at the health curriculum in Abeka for this year, and he's way ahead of it. So I just dropped that. So I'm not going to do health. So I might later on by 7th, 8th grades maybe do anatomy, physiology. or astronomy, things like that. Just keep adding electives. You can always do that. Like, according to their interests, you can go in and add electives. You can buy elective curriculums. And most of the programs are Christian based. So, christianbook.com, they have pretty good deals. You can always compare them to getting them on the website or christianbook.com. Sometimes they have sales and stuff. So I found that the price, there was like $10-$20 difference here and there. There's American literature you can add. There's British literature you can add. If you want a really solid like reading program that incorporates all math, geography, history, everything, there's a program called Shark, something Shark. I can't remember it right now, but it's called Shark curriculum. So you can just go into that, and they send you like entire, like for $800, like some 50 books, like so many books. There's just so many books, and then that would be their curriculum. Okay, so that said, now choosing programs. If you're trying to do an online program with the basics, I would do Monarch. If you're doing reading textbook style with videos, Abeka. LifePack is like Abeka. Horizons is like Abeka, but they'll just give you the books, and you would have the workbooks and the teacher manuals, but you won't have video support, video demands. Now, grades 1 through 5 is what Varane did Abeka with his private school. And Abeka actually is from his private schools, and Abeka is videotaped in his school and with his teachers. So he's used to those teachers and stuff. And he has a really solid private school education. So that's why now he's able to be at the level that he is. His math was really, really strong, and it was all on, him learning whatever he learned in school. So, but because we did Abeka last year, and 1 through 5, I would hands down Abeka. Even if you don't do the Abeka video program, Abeka curriculum is really strong for kids. It's very heavy Christian, but it's good. Brain, he's got good solid values. But Abeka does fall out when it comes into middle school because, they don't believe in Darwin, evolution, things like that. And their history is a little candy coated, and so that was the reason we're getting away from Abeka this year, is because, and then the other thing is he didn't want to do videos at all. He did not want to do videos. He was done. He was bored of like just watching videos. He wants more of like, he can do it on his own. So I was going to choose the LifePack books. LifePack books are the same style. They're pretty good. Parent involvement is very little. They just open their book, they finish their text, they just go through with it. Abeka is the same too, but I just didn't. We wanted to change. He wanted to change because he's been doing it for 5 years now. But for younger kids, I would definitely choose Abeka. Abeka is really, really strong. It's a very strong program. I haven't done BJU, but I heard it's just like Abeka. And then LifePack and Horizon books. They're the same without the video stuff. You just have the books with you, and they would just do it all on their own. What else? Okay, so that's about that. And then electives, there are a billion electives out there, and you could choose the electives. Supplementing, you can always supplement. It's so easy. If you go to pbs.org, you have so much free courses over there. You can just pick a course and they can do it. You log in, they do their free course, watch some videos. You can ask them questions about it later. It's just for them to get used to stuff, and it's great. Exploratorium has videos, all that. Like, you can keep supplementing them for their science and history and everything. And then when I come up with the entire list of books that I got for him and all the supplemental stuff that I'm doing, I'll make a list of it, and then that might make it easier. But go with the flow. I mean, if you have younger kids, less than 6, just go with the flow. Just get one of these programs like Abeka or LifePack or Monarch, or, depending on what they like. While they like online video, books, just books and workbooks. But giving them work and these kind of programs like Life Pack, Horizons, Abeka, it gives them a solid method of working hard, because it's a lot of work. But I mean, they have to be used to work if they're going to go to college, because college is just going to get harder and harder. So if they're used to like just doing kind of like eclectical systems and stuff, they're not going to be prepared for these placement tests. They're not going to be good test takers, you know. It's a lot of stuff you have to do under stress. So it's better to like slowly build them up to that. So being hardworking, getting them to do those extra homeworks. Yes, there are like a billion quizzes with Abeka. There are a billion tests, and each concept is like drilled into you like the whole time. They teach you memorization, and this is what made my sixth grader like prepared now to do homeschooling, I think, and he's able to do it on his own, and I'm able to like just open his mind up, you know. So the solid basis is needed. So picking a program with a good solid background like Abeka or Horizons I heard is really good, BJU Press, those kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, and everything is already laid out for you. You don't have to worry about it, you know. It's a good start, you know, for the first few years. And then as you get into middle school, then you got to start thinking about, you got to get them prepared for college. So what is it that colleges are looking for? What is it going to be heavily based on? A lot of you know, do they want to go into pre-med? Do they want to go into maths? Do they want to go into history? They want to go into literature. So according to that, you can keep building up their library. You buy books that'll help them slowly and go with their pace. You don't have to like make them like finish a whole entire book in a day. I mean, if they like to read and finish a book, then that's fine with them. So bring, you know, add in books that they like. Like Rain likes, you know, Goosebumps. He likes R.L. Stein. He likes all that. So I'm adding in a lot of like mystery books and, you know, a lot of good things like that. He wanted to learn world history. He didn't want to do American history again. So I just took out American history this time, because he did quite a bit of it last year with Abeka. So we're doing like world history. And I know they have old history, they have new history, you know, so we're just going to go with world history. He wants to learn about different worlds and different animals, different planets. So I'm going to get him like a world history book that has to do, maybe I'm going to try to find a world history book that has a little bit of like animals and plants and science incorporated in it, or just get like a science, maybe a National Geographic book that they have on different worlds and the plant life and animal life they have there, molecules, cells, whatever. I mean, you know, try to incorporate everything. So homeschooling, it really gives you the opportunity to enhance their mind in a good way. Enhance their mind in a way that they can actually grow so much and learn about the world. I've always thought homeschoolers were great. If you have the time, and you know, I wasn't, you know, I got forced into it. Right now, it's crazy because you know, he's gonna miss his friends, but a lot of his friends are also gonna homeschool. So we're thinking of maybe, you know, once in a month or so, do like a co-op program where the kids get together and work together and stuff like that. And, you know, if you're worried about the social life, you can always, I mean, here I know a lot of people go into the church programs and there's like co-ops and they meet all the time. This year is really big for me because I'm applying for residency, so I don't have the time for all that. So I'm trying to go easy and just, you know, just go with the flow, you know, put them into a strong system, all-in-one curriculum, and then slowly add on books of my choice from Amazon, from christianbook.com, all these websites, and just go with that. I suck at making videos, but this is my take on this. And don't forget, you can add like crazy electives: American literature, British literature, Latin, Spanish, astronomy, anatomy, physiology, gaming, coding, anything you want. There's so many programs out there with curriculums. I can give you a whole list, my next video, of some of the curriculum you can look at. And since you have younger kids, my go-to, I will tell you, is Abeka for the first few years. It's solid. It'll build them up, and they'll get used to rigorous work. Abeka, now, if you want to do video, do the Video Academy, Or if you just want to just get their books, they have the whole curriculum that you can buy, like the entire 5-subject curriculum. And they have health too, they had health from day one, so which was good. So that's one of the programs that I suggest. Life Pack. Me and Varane looked at the Life Pack books, and he really liked that. He said he wanted to do Life Packs without the videos or anything like that. Like he just wanted, and the Life Packs are just books, and there's workbooks, and there's teachers' manuals. That's it. Like you do everything. Like they do everything. They just open their book. They finish up their lessons. You say, you can tell him like finish, unit 1 by 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can just get a planner. You have to get a planner and then see how many lessons each unit is and how fast they can work. And then with that, like I think Life Packs, honestly, I think Varane can finish it in I'm thinking he can do a unit a week or 2 weeks. So I think he should be done. And each book has 10 units. That's it. 10 units. So we're just talking about 10 weeks. Or if not 20 weeks. And then he's done with 6th grade, So you can just go on to the next thing after that. You have to keep a portfolio of all the work they do and stuff in case you need to submit it for college or, evaluators and things like that. If you are in Florida, we have to get it evaluated every year if you're not under an umbrella program or umbrella private school, like those free ones I told you about, or if you're not in an academy. You do have to get it evaluated, and they do have to have 180 days of attendance, which you could just write in a calendar they attended or not. Some of the things to look at: Abeka. Life Pack is by AOP. AOP, Alpha Omega Academy. Alpha Omega Academy is the one that has Monarch. They have AOP Academy, and they have Life Packs, and they have Horizons. So look into each of the things and go for it. Horizons, I heard, is a bit more closer to Abeka than Life Pack in core curriculum, but they don't offer it for the older kids group. If you're looking for solid, really good academies, Brightways is good. Veritas Verita Press, they are hardcore, pretty good, really good academy. It costs quite a bit. Brightways is, I think, about $3,000 to $4,000 for their academy, but you can just buy the books. So you can do just the curriculum of the books. All these programs you can pick to do the academies, or you can just buy their curriculum. Usually curriculums run anywhere between $800 to $1,500. Even if you do the basic core, and it'll be I think Abeka is $900. It's really affordable, Abeka. If you do, say you pick $800, you'll still have the supplementation. So you're looking at a couple hundred, $200-300 that you're going to be buying other stuff. That said, okay, the math programs are really expensive. So I'm going to put Varane in the AOP program, and the AOP program costs that's the art of problem solving. That's about $479 for the course, for a pre-algebra course. So things like that. Even Abeka, if you buy just their video program and just the math, it becomes $400-something. So it's always cheaper to get a whole package. But if you do have to supplement it, choose the good supplemental program, because the price is going to be the same. So, and then there's a lot of online free schools according to the public school system you are under. But since you're not here, I don't know how that works. Laurel Springs is an academy program. Again, I would really think about all these for older kids, and it's about $9,000. Memoria Press Academy, it's quite expensive too, but they have a curriculum that has the books you can buy from them. Oak Meadows is about $670, things like that. Stanford, you can get your kid in Stanford if you can get them into the placement test, and that starts in high school, and they're almost $24,000 a year to send them to that. So just look into all those programs. But younger kids, you will just choose between Abeka, Horizons, Life Pack. Just look in Abeka, Alpha Omega Academy, Bob Jones University. That's the BJU Press. A lot of people use Memoria Press. Then Brightways. Oh, do look into that Shark program if you want them to start reading novels and, you know, learning through that method. It looked like a really good thing. I liked it. Because I love reading, so I thought that would be good for kids who like to read. So those are like my top like programs and stuff.